Hey guys, it's Chris. If you've ever seen the movie Van Wilder, you'll know that there's a theme inside that movie. It's called Write That Down.
Write that down.
Well, we're going to play with that meme today. I've been talking to some of the boys in the band, and they can't figure out why guys won't shoot at what they liked, why they're having a hard time getting the campaign missions done. So what I've done is I've grabbed a fantastic battle on one of the best scouting maps out there on Prokhorovka, and I'm driving an ELC Even 90. And I'm going to stop the battle quite a few times to show you my view range rings, my render range. I'm going to talk a little bit about strategy. So let's have a look at the crew in this Even 90. It's the same crew that I put back and forth in my AMX 13105, so it gets an awful lot of training on a regular basis. Working on its 7th skill, that's pretty outrageous. Same for the gunner and same for the driver. And the equipment that I use, I've got the Commander's Vision System in the first slot, which gives me an extra 20% of burn through camo whenever another tank on the enemy team is sitting behind foliage or stationary. And when they're moving, I get an extra 12.5% of reduction in their camo rating. Second slot, I've got vents, which gives me an extra 5% to all of my crew. And I do play it with optics. The optics in the vents give me 482 meters worth of view range and almost 45% camo rating, which makes it pretty outrageous. This tank is almost invisible. The one downside of not being able to use an enhanced gun lane drive, I have terrible aim time and really bad gun handling. So that's where the camo rating comes in handy. It gives me the time to aim. All right, so I go ahead and ping that Echo 1 region, and I'm going to head toward that direction. Now, I'm not going to rush on out there. I look over the lineup, I see there's 2 light tanks aside, an LT-432 and an anonymized M4190 on the enemy team. And we've got myself and we've got an M41 Bulldog, and I like what the Bulldog is doing. He's heading off toward the F6 region, but I want to stop it here for 1 second. Now, even though I've said I'm rushing off to Echo 1, I want you to look at the distance from myself and this gaggle of snipers right here. So look at the distance from my position to them. That'll be the distance from my view range to their view range, and that's the distance from my render range to their render range. So their render range goes to here, their view range goes to here. So if I outdistance my snipers, they're not going to shoot anything. You should write that down.
Write that down.
Now I spot 2 light tanks here, and I want you to make a note of something. I have a direct line of sight at the M4190 and the LT-432. Whenever you do, you're lit. Write that down.
Write that down.
So I'm not going to stay on this ridgeline. Now, I don't think any of their snipers on the 1-2 line have gotten into position yet, so I'm not worried about being hit by them, but I am worried about being hit by the artillery. So what I'm going to do is a crazy Ivan, get under the ridgeline. Now, I want you to make a note of something here. The LT-432 and the M4190, those are the tanks that spotted me. They're dark. I should be dark to the enemy team too. Write that down.
Write that down.
I should be able to progress just a little further north, but you'll notice Progetto gets spotted. He's a green player. There's a good chance that he has a good view range, and he may have spotted me as well. So I'm not going to hang around to find out. Write that down.
Write that down.
Now, it turns out he didn't spot me, but the Object 430U does, and the Progetto gets hit for 328. Now I get the spotting damage on him. So I'll do the same crazy Ivan in the dip here. And when that Object 430U goes dark, and there he goes, I'll get over the ridgeline again, and I'll attempt to keep spotting down the 1-2 line. So I'm going to sit in this bush right here, and I got to keep my reticle toward the M4190, and he gets hit, and he gets taken out. That's a great result. Now, I get some of the spotting there because the STB's on the ridgeline, so are some of the tanks at F6. But with that M41 Bulldog taken out of the game, I should be able to own the 1-2 line. Now, the LT-432 hasn't been spotted in a while. I suspect that he's going 890 line, but I also want you to have a look at this. We've got no one on the hill. Guys have started pinging the hill already. The M41 Bulldog is spotting in that neighborhood, but without snipers at H0, that Bulldog is not going to last long. He's going to get overwhelmed. Now, these guys can fire toward the hill, but we also need snipers going this way. Now, I could swim upstream and, die with him. But my suggestion is don't spot where there's no snipers. You should write that down.
Write that down.
All right, so the Progetto does spot me again. I'm going to get in and out of that ridge line. I'll stay in this dip here, and Wow, that was a big hit from a conch. So I want you to pay attention to right here. Even as I'm driving, I hit enter and I type conch. Share that information with your teammates. Look at who's spotted and who's not. These light bulbs signify all the guys that are spotted. So the object 268, not spotted. Conqueror, not spotted. T-54, not spotted. And one of the object 704s, and of course, artillery. So I type conch, and then I ping the map, and I tell my teammates where that Conqueror is. So they know
Write that down.
Where one of the hidden heavies are located. Now I think that I'm not spotted, so I'm going to progress just a little further north. Now I want to make another mental note here. Look at the distance from myself to the next sniper. That tells me that his view range ring is this far back. Only the object 2684 can actually see to the back of the map. These guys back here, look at the distance from me to their position, even the progetto. So their view range rings are going to be just at the progetto. Their render range is going to be probably to the edge of the B line. I might as well not outdistance my snipers. I'm going to wait for them. Now I do like that the object 2684 is moving up. However, he is coming kind of in the open, and I don't think that's a great idea. He's probably going to start taking fire here. Yep, there it is. 357, then he gets hit by an artillery strike. And 769, so I know there's a big TD back there. Now I've got the progetto lit, and the 2684 takes him out. Fantastic. I think he was the only one lighting down here, so I should be able to progress north. Now I don't spot the Conqueror, and I don't spot the 268. The 2684 on my team did, but I want you to notice I do get a little bit of spotting damage on the Conqueror, but I go into sniper mode as I'm moving forward. I zoom out, I have a look for the next bush, I make it to the next bush, and then I go back into sniper mode. Because as soon as the bush goes transparent and I have a direct line of sight, I'm hidden, but I am spotting all the way through the bush. You should write that down.
Write that down.
So my direct line of sight, I should take all the spotting damage on this Conqueror. I also light the object 704. He takes a hit for 362. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing my reticle back and forth. I do have the designated target perk on my gunner. That should keep these guys lit for an extra 2 seconds. Conqueror goes down. I can progress a little farther north. All right, so there's a quick 3K worth of spotting. And
write that down.
I want you guys to write this down. I've traded no hit points. For 3K worth of spotting, that was for free. I still have all of my hit points. So I'm going to follow the bush, staying in it. And again, our 2684 is telling the rest of the guys that are camping on the 2 line to move up, but I shouldn't outdistance my snipers again, so I'm going to be patient. I go into sniper mode again. I wait until the bush is transparent and I stop. Now you can see that's quite the push that's going on the 0 line. This one heavy tank, he's going to fall. Now, I appreciate that the 2684 says, I'm here to support you, but I'm not actually worried about the 2 TDs on the 2 line. I'm worried about this T-44-100. So I'm going to progress just a little bit further. I'm going to try and keep some distance between myself and the T-44-100, but I'm going to auto-lock on him, and I'm going to watch the mini-map, and I'm going to make sure that he doesn't get within 50 meters of me. You should write that down.
Write that down.
Now, as he gets closer, I drive away from him, and I'm not spotted at all. And I actually get the object 704 hit for 398. And I can see that the T-44-100 is not facing me. So what I'm going to do is hit the T-44-100 as I drive by. I also spot the M40-43 artillery. He gets hit, and I track the 44-100 and already gets taken out. That's a great result. It's 4 all. We have an artillery and they don't. So the T-44-100 was the one spotting me. When he goes dark, I'll go dark. I get a little spotting on the 430U. I went dark for a second and then I lit the T-44-100 and he lit me in return. I get 400 spotting on him. I'll do another scouting run along the ridgeline here, but I will stay in the dip. And when the 44-100 goes dark, I can come out of the dip. I don't get spotted by anyone at Echo 6. So what I'm thinking is that T-44-100 is low health. I think I can take him out. So I auto-lock on him. I managed to get a lucky tracking shot. I pen him, and our team takes him out. Now, I'm going to pause it here. Unfortunately, our 2684 got taken out. The Leopard prototype got the kill on the 44-100, but look at this charging Object 430U. And a T-54. I need to get out of here. I get really lucky. They both missed me. Oh, and the 277 misses me as well. Now, write this down.
Write that down.
When you're running, run toward your snipers. Run toward your guns. Now, I'm going to take a hit here from this T-54, but I want you to watch what I do here as well. I'm going to pause it again. I duck in behind the dead Object 2684 that died earlier, and I draw a straight line from myself to the mediums, and I keep an eye on the straight line from myself to the unspotted TDs at Alpha 2, Alpha 3, and I drive away trying to keep that dead TD
Write that down.
between myself and them, and I keep driving toward my shooters. Now, when the T-54 and the Object 430U go dark, so will I. They're dark, so am I. I can come over the ridge line, and I can come back into an active scouting role. Now, I can see that our STB-1 is down to 570 hit points, so I'm going to stop in this bush, and I'm going to give him a hand. I'm going to try and make sure the Object 430U doesn't come over the ridge line. I'll keep some spotting on the 704. I'll share some of the spotting with the STB. I'll have a quick look over at where the Object 430U is. He came up and off the hill. The 704 gets taken out by the prototype. Now, our heavy's going to fall right there. I've got to keep an eye out for where I'm spotting next. I'm loaded. I'm going to try and keep the Object 277 and the 430U. Oh, hang on. I've got a charging T-54. I'm going to stop it here. This is a time that I can actually stop and let it aim. Artillery's dead. T-54 is not facing me. I can hit these shots, unload my entire clip into him, because all of their snipers are on the back side of this echo line. They're all on the back side of the hill except for that T-54, and he's focused on the STB. T-54 gets taken out. I share the spotting with the STB. And what I'm going to do is head further south and actively keep an eye on my view range rings. My 45% camo and decent view range, I'm going to try and keep all of the targets at the edge of my view range rings.
Write that down.
And I also know that this heavy tank is probably going to be coming over the tracks on the K line soon. So what I'll try and do is keep all of these tanks lit for my teammates. Now, it's not my job to shoot. It's just my job to light for these guys. Write that down.
Write that down.
Object 277 gets hit hard by the Jag Tiger and artillery. 576 and 283. Now look at the edge of my view range rings. 277's lit, 430U is lit. Keeping an eye on when that heavy tank's going to come over the tracks. Oh, 277 takes out the prototype. That's too bad. But there's the 257 lit. So I'm hoping that the STB can get some shots on that guy. Now, pause it quickly again. These are my 3 points of contact that I have to keep inside my view range ring. I'm going to keep doing crazy Ivans in the neighborhood. There we go. The 257 gets hit for 311. That's probably the STB. He's got 500 hit points left. Let's see if I can keep him lit for the STB. Oh, there we go. 356. So I am doing all the spotting, despite the STB probably having decent view range. I'm the one keeping him lit for the STB. Keep an eye on this 430U. Make sure he's not going to get at me. Oh, 277 kills the prototype. I'm not going to take this shot at the 430U because I'll get spotted. I'm waiting for the 257 to die. Sure enough, there he is. He gets taken out. Okay, so I've only got a 277 and a 430U to keep lit for my team. 277 gets hit by artillery. Can I get a side shot? No, not quite. Okay, I'll start driving a little. Oh, excellent. 277 gets taken out. Ooh, can I get a shot on this LT 432? Nope, I can't. By the time I aim, he's under the ridge line. Okay. I'll head further south and then a little east, and I'll keep this 430U in my reticle, and I'll keep him lit for teammates. And I'll get into these bushes until they're transparent, and now I know that I have a direct line of sight of that 430U, and I'm lighting him now. And Artie hits him for 314 while I load. Okay. 430U repairs his stun. You can tell he's not stunned anymore, so I'll progress a little further north. Now, I don't know if you noticed that. The STB right there was just pinging my position.
Write that down.
And then he goes ahead, and he pings up north at Alpha 6. And a question mark. Now, What are you trying to say? Is Lassie trying to talk to me here? Is little Timmy stuck down a well? What is it you're trying to say? So I stop and I tell him, dude, stop pinging me. He says, can you get hind? And we're typing at the same time. So I progress a little further north, and he does the right thing. He says, sorry, man, I'm just asking. I'm not trying to, critique your play or anything like that. But here's where I make a big mistake. I let that distract me, and I stop in the open to respond. I say, use your words. Now, let's get a direct line of sight at that 430U. I'm hidden from that 430U. I'm hidden from the TDs. And because I'm distracted, I drive out in the open.
Write that down.
And I take a hit from the 430U. So listen, write that down. Don't let teammates distract you. Now I think that 430U is coming to chase after me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive away using these bushes to guard my retreat, and I'll head back over these tracks. Now I actually think as I cross the tracks, I'm going to spot him again. Sure enough, the 430U gets spotted again. Our STB is pinging him and seeing Artie? Okay. And artillery is going to try and take a shot at this 430U, and Artie hits the train. That's okay. I'll go get this 430U lit. Oh no. Oh no. The Object 704 takes up my STB. Our chances of winning this game just went a lot slimmer. Alright, can I get a shot at this Object 704? No, I can't. He's already in the dip. Alright, so I know that the LT-432, the 704, and the 268 are all along the 1-2 line. I've got to try and get this 430U taken out. I'm the only eyes over here, and I'm hoping that artillery can one-shot him. Can I do this safely? Oh, the Jag Tiger kills the LT. That's awesome. We're up a tank. Okay. Now, I'm a little distressed that I haven't spotted the 430U yet. So I don't know. Has he already gotten across the tracks? Did he double back and go north? Is he on the hill? I have no idea. Oh, no. All right, so I think I need to get in behind the TDs on the 1-2 line, so I'm going to speed this up. Get over by the tracks. I'll cross him here, and the Object 268 gets spotted way down south. And oh no, the 704 takes out the Jag Tiger. Okay, these happy little oranges back there, the Jag Tiger and the 254, I understand why they were camping in the back of the map.
Write that down.
But that Jag Tiger needed some cover. That T54 needed to at least be at J2 while these TDs were advancing, especially after that LT died. He didn't give that Jag Tiger any buffer. And the Jag's camo rating is terrible compared to the T54. He should have been further north and doing some spotting. I don't think I'm going to get back there in time before Artie. Yeah, Artie goes down to the 268. That's too bad. Artillery had a good game. And that T54 is not long for this world. Yeah, sure enough, the 268's already on top of him. The 704's coming down. Oh, T54 gets taken out. All right, 1-on-3. I'm a sneaky French light tank. I should be able to keep all these guys at the edge of my view range rings and at least get some shots off without being hit in return. But I have terrible DPM. Someone's on the cap. It's probably the Object 430U. At least got to get someone spotted. Okay, I see the 704, and I'll duck into this bush. I'll wait until he crosses that bush, and then I'll fire. So I get a shot on him. I put 2 into his side, and oh, I shouldn't have taken that blind shot. I've got terrible DPM. I just wasted 1 shot. I should have used that shot on the 430U, but hindsight's 20/20. Okay, so I spot the 430 or the Object 704. He takes a shot at my last node. I spot the 430U while I'm loading. I've still got 8 seconds left. So what I'm going to do is I back up. I make sure that the bush is bushy, and I get the kill on the Object 430U. Can I get a shot on the 268? Oh, it's a bad miss, but I do get a reset on the 268. Okay, so I'm on reload. I'm going to back away from our cap. I'll try and keep these TDs at the edge of my view range rings. I'm reloaded, so it's time to swing back and see if I can get another reset. 417, I can probably kill that 704. I can't kill the 268, especially with only a minute left. So let's get to the next set of bushes. I'm going to zoom in on the object 704. Got him lit. Now, if he backs onto that cap, he's going to cut the timer in half. All right. I'm going to set up to run. And what I'm going to do is try and get a shot on this object 704. Let it aim. Oh, bounce. Bounce. Oh, no. I've got to hit this. Oh, no. That's a loss. Oh. That's terrible. I was bottom tier with 7,000 spotting and 1,700 damage. That was on the way to a great game. And now it's a loss. That's too bad. Oh, that's too bad. All right, let's go look at the post game. So here's the post game that I put up on Watt Replays. I do get an ace tanker in a heartbreak loss. I get a defender for the cap resets, and I also get a patrol duty. Gosh, that was a great scouting run. That's too bad. I look over the team score. I am top in XP. Our STB played a fantastic game with 4,400 damage. Their object 277 was just a wrecking ball, 5,200 damage, 3 kills. He gets a high caliber. Those two TDs on the 1-2 line, the object 704 and the 268, they were just throwing bombs down that line, and they had a whopping 8,600 damage between the two of them. And if you look at that M4190 right at the start of the game, who did get a scout medal, that's the kind of scouting you don't want to do. Sure, he rushed out and spotted a bunch of tanks, but look how low he is in XP, and zeros across the board. That's not very helpful. He got his team some initial intelligence on the dispersal, but other than that, that's not a great scouting run. The LT432 on their team, 4,700 spotting. That's a little better job, but he still ends up in the middle of the pack. I do make almost 80,000 silver and 2,200 XP. What a heartbreak. Well, fellas, I hope you enjoyed playing Write That Down and a little bit of light tanking on Prokhorovka. Drop me a comment below, give me a like, and try to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to put out videos every day if I can. Thanks a lot, guys. Stay safe out there.